Hey, everybody, welcome to the first episode of our podcast. That's Amy. I'm Katza, and this is Overthink with us.
Hello. Well, welcome to our first episode, our introduction, if you will. Yes, quote unquote, our first, because we actually already filmed. And not only did we already film and edit what was 3 hours of footage of us just yapping, talking away, reminiscing.
Yappers.
Little yappers, certified yappers over here. And we decided that it would probably be best for our mental health to do this again. Just give it one more chance.
Just refilm that.
Yeah.
Now that we have a little more structure and like we're a little more comfortable with like the camera and the mic and stuff, and just like audio stuff, trying to figure out the techie side of filming and all that stuff. So
yeah. And we were just reminiscing so much in the first episode, just talking about things that we find entertaining and interesting, but upon reflection.
Well, okay, hold on. Let's give us a little grace here. Like, people probably would have thought it was funny. You just had to be there.
Yeah. You had to be there at that time when we were growing up. But in our first recording, we had actually pretty much gone through everything, albeit very long-winded and very off the rails many times. But we talked about the major elements of, why podcasting, when did we talk about it, who brought it up first, and then it kind of led into us talking about like how we've known each other for however many years we've known each other, which we calculated. I think it was 17 years, right?
Yes, we all got different numbers, but I think it was like 17 years.
I got, what was it, 18? Siri, or was it Alexa?
It was Siri, yeah.
Siri got
was
16,
like, 16,
and then we did the actual math, and it was 17. So close enough.
Still a long time, regardless.
No, yeah, super long time that we've known each other. And it sucks. I really wish we could have I really tried during editing to make it cohesive and flow together, but we were just laughing too much, going off the rails, talking about just random little fun facts about us that, again, we're probably like, oh yeah, oh my God, do you remember this? Or especially in high school and middle school, since it was such a different era and the style was so different and it was such a big emo scene and we were getting into all that stuff. And, it's easy to lose your way when you're talking about the past, especially as long as we've known each other for this, 17 years. It's been a long time.
That goes into kind of what I want to say, that like, we obviously are not podcast professionals. I don't know. We decided to do a podcast because we always wanted to do a podcast.
Yeah, for the funsies.
And we said in our first recording too that like we had literally been wanting to do a podcast for over a decade. And even though we probably would have been one of the first, or not one of the first, but like close to it, like to when it started. And it's cooler now, or like everybody has a podcast now.
So, I mean, we I live in Miami, Florida. You live in South Carolina, right?
Not North Carolina, close enough. You immediately know. The northern one.
Sorry, the north one. The North Carolina. The sister.
Yeah, we're sisters.
Yes. That pretty much everyone here in Miami has a podcast.
Yes. I mean, honestly, pretty much everyone everywhere, but
definitely in Miami.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm sure some are very successful. I don't know. We don't know.
Some are questionably successful.
Oh, I guess it's true. Yeah. But this is more just, it's a podcast, obviously, because of its structure, but it's really just our, weekly, monthly call of between two long distance friends who've been friends for a long time, and we just so happen to be recording it and putting it online for everyone to see and
Yeah.
be embarrassed by it probably later.
Correct. Correct. And we're just chismosas. We just want to know what's going on and then talk about it, give our 2 cents, and then at the end just be like, but who am I to judge? You know, who are we to judge?
Right, right.
That's how
I mean, we
keep it.
basically do that anyway.
No, yeah, literally. That's true. But yeah, it just sucks because it was such a good natural flow from the episode that we're not going to use as our intro because it was 3 hours. It was a lot. But we have to keep in mind that, you know, we have to keep things interesting, but we also can't just be just talking too casually, which is a skill, and it's going to take us time to learn that skill. Like right now as we're recording, it's a little bit difficult because we have bullet points, we have things we want to talk about, and we kind of already mentioned it. So now it's just kind of like, what do we do now?
I mean,
yeah, because like the first episode we
is.
took our sweet time getting to all the points, and now it's like we got to them in like 0.5 seconds, and now it's like,
Well, I mean, okay, hold on. That episode, you know, our last episode, like
our
you called
last
it earlier.
episode, yes.
I'm sure it'll come up, like probably post it here and there, like, because there was just such good. This is going to be, I'm sure we're going to title this "Rest in Peace to Our First Episode." Like, because
Yes, that's perfect.
right now it is a celebration of life for our first episode recording, and we
are mourning the loss of our first episode. Okay.
And let's just like the that's just what it is when you're doing something you've never done before, and you know,
you just yap. You just yap,
and that's fine. I'm okay with the yapping. I think it's okay to yap. I just think, you know, we're not editors. We've never done this before, so it's hard to edit yapping.
Oh my god,
it's just we're all over the place. And I'll take credit for that. Like I don't know what is up with me, but I'll literally talking about something and I'll come back to it, but it'll be 30 minutes later after 4 conversations in. So correct. I'm sure that will be happening more. You know, sorry to our editor, you. But it should be a fun time.
No, yeah, it's part of the experience, and there's nothing really that you can do except just keep trying repeatedly until you get it right. And part of me, you know, after editing for so many hours, I did hope that we could use it, but it's just too noticeable, the difference of like if we were to have put it, you would have noticed right away, like just kind of the rough cuts from one section to another, kind of trying to force a cohesive story from us. And so it just would have been too difficult. So this is probably for the best that we're refilming this and just, you know, trying to get it right as we can.
And also, if you're seeing this, that means we either were too annoyed of the idea of refilming for the third time.
If this turns out bad, I'm not doing this again.
This is all you get.
This is it, you will get more. It will be better, but for right now, like intro is so hard because there's like my brain is like split in half of like wanting to just talk to you normally, but then the brain of like thinking about like what's the perspective as a listener, which is very hard to do simultaneously. So it creates like a bit of an awkwardness, if I'm going to be honest. It'll be I wish I could ask people who have done podcasts for a while, like what was it like to film like the intro? Is it just like is it just an us thing that we were like struggling with it? Because before this we were laughing for like a good 10 minutes, 15, who knows.
Rough. It's rough. It's 9:00 at night.
It's 9:00 at night.
Like,
I wouldn't stop crying laughing because we cry when we laugh, unfortunately. That's been our thing for many years.
Also for like people who do like actual podcasts for a living, like professional podcasts, like are they filming with their best friend? I feel like that dynamic is probably so different.
True.
It must be hard. I mean, I'm sure people do this successfully. There are pretty popular ones that are like, best friends, just chit chatting and stuff. And I guess because they have a platform, it's like whatever they do is funny. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
But, we're kind of nobody right now, which is totally fine. Um, and if it's just us watching, that's totally cool too. Like I said, it's just something we were wanting to do, that we kind of already do.
No, yeah,
And it's just,
naturally. Yeah. And then
yeah,
we were like, oh, well, you mentioned it. You're like, it's better, it's cheaper than therapy. Which is
it's
kind of like
much
the
cheaper.
biggest thing. Like, you know what? You're right.
It's a little therapy session.
Yeah, because it's like we literally talk for so many hours. We might as well film it and make what we can of it. Right now, the struggle for us is going to be how to keep it below an hour or like max an
It should be
hour.
easy. And well, this episode for sure will be a lot shorter. Just a little sweet
Introduction.
intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then for sure in the later episodes, or like in the episodes to come, we'll be talking about like a bunch of different topics. I don't think we're not going to hone in on something specific. Like this podcast is definitely going to be, like celebrity stuff, a lot of science stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are we talking about? This podcast is called Overthink with Us. I forgot.
In case you haven't noticed, we
If
overthink.
you haven't noticed,
I am
we
a overthinker before I do something, which kind of sometimes lead me into paralysis. The word that you looked up?
so we went into naming this podcast, and it was just so us, like we overthink everything, and so we were looking at like different ways to say overthink, and my husband found this thing is called like
This
analysis
is
paralysis.
paralysis, yes.
Yeah.
That's what
Which
happens to me,
is
yes.
so true to yeah, exactly.
And your form of overthinking, I'll let you take this one
The
away.
worst form. So for you, analysis paralysis for you is like, you freeze up before you do something, you're overthinking the situation before it happens. And for me, the exact opposite of overthinking, the less productive, which is overthink about it after you've already done it. Just like this podcast, just like the first episode.
Yeah,
We filmed the first episode, we edited it, and we overthought it just, over and over and over again until I basically bullied you to refilm.
I was bullied. There was like a threatening email sent to me of like, we better do this again because this is trash.
False. Honestly, we totally could have said that out, but it's like,
No, yeah,
we might as well do it.
it just didn't, it wouldn't have felt right because it was just too much reminiscing. Too much. And it was just like, the last half of it, of our last episode, was much better than the beginning. The beginning was, like rougher, and you would have noticed that as a listener. So it's just better to just try it again. But yeah, we lost some good bits. We lost some bits of like our introduction of how we met. Mine was very sweet and romantic. Yours was cute. No, just kidding.
It was all right.
No, they were both cute because it just kind of was unexpected, I guess, our friendship. Because it was just very subtle. Like our introductions to each other were very subtle. And we just kind of naturally was like, oh, they seem interesting. And then we stalked each other. No, I'm just kidding. But
apparently you stalked me.
I did not stalk you. What are you talking about?
And the episode before this, we find out that Amy has been stalking
for years. I won in the end, so it's fine.
That's true. We always did say we were going to run away together.
No, literally.
I mean, we didn't say that. Everyone else thought that, but that's fine. We're both married now with children.
Yeah, which would have been the least expected. Like, I'm sure when I introduced my husband to my now husband, who was obviously my boyfriend at the time, to my family, they're like, "Oh, okay. Damn." I know some people lost a few bets that night. They're just like,
yeah, they're like, "Damn, we thought she was a lesbian."
They're like, "Damn, we just placed I placed everything on this girl."
I went all in on that.
I went all in on that, and this is what I get.
Yeah.
That
I
would have
mean,
been funny. I wish a family member would have done that because that just would have been hilarious.
I, we've been really close for almost the entire time we've been friends. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the
literally.
beginning, like
Well,
maybe the
the
first
beginning,
year.
she, would take me on and off her MySpace top
Oh
5
my God.
friends.
Okay, so in the last film, in the last
In the
filming
last
session,
episode, uh-huh.
in the last episode, we find out that I'm an asshole. No, I mean, okay,
No,
we're
she had
talking
a
about
big,
MySpace.
yeah, she had a big friend group. She was popular or whatever.
Okay, definitely not. I literally don't.
Look, you had a
Yuck.
big
Okay,
friend group. You had a big friend group. At least you could at least admit that.
sure.
But
And where are
not
they
okay.
now?
I know you. They weren't like besties, especially not by like our standards today. But you definitely like were like I don't know. I always saw you guys in like a big group, a big herd,
Yeah,
a school of
I
fish.
think. I mean, thank God too, because I feel like, I don't know. Well, maybe it would have been better off by myself. I don't know, but I like that I had a lot of friends. That was like in middle school. In high school, I had a good amount of friends too. We definitely had a different friend group almost the whole time we were friends.
No, yeah,
Actually,
literally.
now thinking about it,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool, very interesting, very different people, different kinds of friend groups too. I almost think that made our friendship kind of stronger. I really liked
No,
that about it.
100% because it kind of gave us space, like away from each other,
Hmm.
like because
Yeah, I mean,
we would meet like especially in high school like almost every morning we would like meet up with each other, and the good thing about our separate friend groups is that we still like the groups still knew each other in their own ways. So if we would mix the groups together, we all still knew each other or had heard of each other, but we definitely always had like our own worlds, but we always would come together and just kind of what would be the good word for it, because I was going to say share, but it was more than that. Like I don't know, like we were
what do you
able to
mean?
grow together and separate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's true. Like we grew as our own people, just beside each other, which is
Correct.
cute.
Yeah, and I don't feel like that's actually really weird now that I'm thinking about it, because a lot of best friend stories, they're hanging out 24/7. Like
Oh yeah,
all the
yeah.
time, same friend group, same everything. And again, we obviously did hang out, but there looking back, there definitely was like we each had our own friend groups and we were like intermingled, but I also think it was like how our high school was set up that I never really felt like any toxicity in our high school. Everyone was for the most part pretty chill. Like it wasn't
That's
clicky.
true.
It wasn't clicky. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
weird if different friend groups were hanging out.
True. Although I'm sure we're pretty different. Like obviously we are similar in certain ways, but I'm sure that people were shocked when you would be like, "Oh yeah, she's my best friend," and then I'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Amy, yeah, she's
Okay.
my best friend."
It's like
They'd be
I
like,
never see you
"Amy?"
two hanging out.
Literally, they'd be like, "What? You guys literally like? Oh yeah, we've been best friends forever." It's not like a fake best friend. Like we literally were like each other's person. So
No,
at least you were for me.
it's yeah. Now that I'm really like I'm having an epiphany,
I
sort of
know.
moment where I'm just
After
like,
a whole filming session.
see, 3 hours is not enough. 3 hours is not enough.
I mean,
No,
yeah,
but for real, that's crazy. Cause you're right. I would tell people like, oh yeah, that's my best friend. They're like, y'all are besties.
fucking weird. We
I'm like,
that
yeah.
girl, that lesbian. Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, the lesbian assumptions would have been about me because you had your boyfriends. I was alone. I was a forever alone.
True. I know, but I was like in GSA and stuff.
So was
Gay
I.
Straight Alliance. Gay Straight Alliance before it was cool. Okay.
Literally,
Yeah.
we were. Like, I remember, I was scared to join just because I was like super shy in high school. I did not like attention on me. I was just like, please don't acknowledge my existence ever. So to be in GSA and then wear the shirt with GSA and then people would be like, oh, you're gay? I'm like, no, it's alliance, okay? There's the alliance part.
I'm in a lie.
I'm an ally.
I'm an ally.
I'm
Yeah.
an ally before it was cool to be an ally.
Well, I know that because I was in GSA first. People are probably like, "Oh, that's so sweet. She's like her best friend's ally." So it's like, I don't know. But it's fine. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, we're back. What are we doing?
No, that was funny. That was funny. No, high school was such a trip, man. It was so funny. But yeah, we really were just living our own worlds, but somehow still like our friendship would be the strongest out of everything, which is crazy and weird, but I think it's really cool.
And it's still like present today. Like we still live our very different lives, different states, like states away. For the last 10 years, we've lived in different cities. So, or like 11 years. And we've still maintained such a like strong bond, even
Yeah, it's
like, even, yeah.
even like through distance and time and everything and like all like our different life eras and stuff, we
Yeah.
still managed to maintain a friendship, but also part of it doesn't feel like we like it's work. It just feels natural. It just feels like if we haven't talked in a while, it's because I've needed like my me time. It's nothing personal against you. It's not like, oh my gosh, she hates me now, which I feel like which at this ripe old age of almost 30.
I turned 30 this year. You still got another year.
I know, but
Gross.
you're not there yet, so it's fine. But for real, at this age, for there still to be people who are like so demanding when it comes to like friendships, and you have to like be checking up on them a certain amount of time. I just feel like the friendships that flow easily is like just when you just get each other. It's not personal.
Yeah, it's exhausting to like have to, above like just like being a mom, and maintaining a home, working, and then like your family, and then on top of that, be like just like maintaining some type of friendship. I feel like for us, it's always just been like it's like she's chill on the back burner. She's cool.
I'm just there in the back,
it's
like,
not gonna overflow. Yeah, exactly. So
because it's
good.
just like again an awareness of like everyone's busy, everyone has their own things that they got to be doing, and if when we do talk to each other it's just naturally flowing, then I just like there's nothing to do, there's no work to do. We just are connected, we just are best friends, we're practically family at this point of our lives if we're being honest. So there's no real work involved.
I think that's the problem with filming a podcast because that's the problem. The conversation's so free flowing that it's like we could just go on.
No, we just
We're
go. I
going
mean,
on.
literally the fact that we had this epiphany after years of knowing each other, that we literally had whole different lives in high school and still were able to like be as close as we were. Like I'm really looking back, digging through the few files of memory that I still maintain of high school that haven't burned away. And I'm like, oh my God, we didn't even have classes together, sis.
Like literally maybe two in the 4 years that we went to school together.
We had like no classes together. Just
The
like
only one we had was
the history class, which was with Coach Malcolm, no? Which was like senior year.
oh, okay. So we had a couple. So we have did we have history together? We had psychology together.
We had psychology. That was fun times.
And
Psychology.
then history our freshman year.
True. Okay, so somehow we always found ourselves in history class with each other.
Weird. We have so much history. Three classes in 4 years.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Come on.
Like to have maintained our friendship for that long, that's wild.
I know extracurriculars, like I was cooking, you were in acting, like two completely different lifestyles.
We were in such different
friends,
worlds.
Cool.
Well, the best probably moments that we've had was sophomore year when we had lunch together and we had our little table in
Oh
the
yeah.
corner under that one singular tree.
our, our weird kid group.
Our weird kid group.
I
I,
love.
I love that group. Such
Yeah.
good times.
Yeah.
I have the photo that you posted on your Instagram like years back of
Oh, I love
that.
that photo. It's
Such
so
a good photo.
genuine. Like,
It's I want to print
yeah,
it out. It's such a good photo. But yeah, we've known each other for that long.
yeah, long time. And here
Long
we are,
time.
like
And here we are,
years later.
years later, still besties. And I'm very excited to be doing this podcast with you. I honestly couldn't imagine doing it with anyone else just because our form of conversation, not even just the form of conversation, but your ability to be open and ask questions and engage with whatever it is I'm bringing up, which we also discuss. Oh my God, ew. I don't know why I say it like that.
We oh, by the way, we are Latina. We discuss.
We disgust.
We discuss.
Disgusting.
We disgusting.
We are disgusting. Sorry, there's gonna be some words that I mess up.
Okay, we discuss.
We discussed this in the Lost episode that some people just don't have that ability to engage with whoever it is they're having a conversation with. Know who's, what, when, where, why, how, which is like fine. Maybe sometimes it's just that they're not interested in whatever it is you're saying. But like
That's fine.
but like in friend groups and people that I do have maintained friendships with, it's hard to find something that flows so naturally.
And people, like you were saying in that first episode, you're like, people that just be like, oh cool, and then just start talking about
Themselves.
their own life, themselves or their life experiences, and you're just like, oh, okay. Like, I wasn't saying anything, it's fine.
It's fine. I'll just you know what, I'll just start a podcast with my best friend and she will be forced to listen to me. It's for work. You have to listen to me.
That's fine. I honestly have never had an issue. We've always it's funny because just like we're saying, like, we had different lives and stuff, but we did have interests were always in common.
Yes.
We've always loved science. We've always loved art, history, like just like the way things are and why they do things, or like why things happen.
Yeah, we're interested in understanding not just life, but like people. We would people watch. We'd be like, oh, like why did this person do this? What would you do? We would have a lot of like, if you were in this situation, like what would you do? And it would always turn into like deep philosophical conversations as well, which, not to be cheesy, because I can't stand those like, oh, I don't like small talk, I want to have deep conversations with people. It wasn't forced like some other conversations I've been in where you feel like someone's like trying to show like their intellect or whatever. This was just like like we were just excited to like share information with each other, like, oh my God, I just heard this, what do you think?
And I think also that probably it's because we were kids. Like, we're still like, I see it in my children. Like, they, like, my son asks so many questions, and it's like, it's so cute because we probably were those little kids that, like, now as an adult, we were still questioning everything. It's just like, even though we became an adult, we still continue to question everything.
But I think that speaks to like I think that speaks to like our parents, and like props to them for having encouraged that, because that was a big thing that my parents, like if I had a question, they would answer it in like the most age appropriate way they could at the time. They would never shut it down. They wouldn't be like, that's fucking stupid, or like, that's not like, don't worry about that right now. They would just give me like a response of like the best response that they personally would think would be a good answer, and it would be like age appropriate, like I said. And then as I got older, like we would have different forms of conversation, but they always like, there's like to not be afraid to ask questions. And I feel like there's some people, and it could be because of upbringing, that maybe they were shamed because of the questions that they wanted to ask, or they don't feel safe or comfortable talking to their parents, and then that maybe translate into like not feeling comfortable having conversations with like friends and stuff.
Like deeper conversations. Yeah, that's true. And my our parents always like encouraged us like to be free thinkers. I feel like we were never shot down. Like the idea of,
they would definitely be like, that's stupid. Like if we if we had held certain beliefs that maybe they didn't agree with, they'd be like, That's stupid, but whatever. That's like, if you could believe it if you want. But it was never it was never toxic. It was, we would agree to disagree. Sometimes, especially my father, love him, would cross a line and kind of like talk down to me a little bit. But that was, honestly, that was more when I got like older. Like when, I didn't give my parents like anything to go crazy about. I was like a calm child.
Also, I think between you and I and our discussions and stuff, it was always super respectful, which is, I think, why
Always, always.
a lot of people choose not to get into deep conversation and stay pretty surface level, because people are really judgy and very upfront about um, not being respectful of other people's opinions, which
No, not
blows
at
my
all.
mind that like that an adult can't contain themselves. Like,
People just get
yeah,
very automatically defensive. And I've seen this where it's, well, I have a conversation and it's like I'm being challenged. And I'm like on trial and I have to like defend myself. And I'm like, this is not the type of conversation I want to engage in. And
yeah,
it's, sometimes the people who I'm close to speak that way, and it's fine, it's whatever, it's their way of having conversations, especially like in the Hispanic Latino community. Every time there's anything to discuss, it's always very like debate, like it's always very aggressive, very like, tú crees que tú eres inteligente, like you think you're so smart, okay, then what about this? And then it's like, we're not politicians. I'm not about to go save, like, we're not going to save the world with this conversation. Like, I'm trying to engage with you in a philosophical sense, in a, like, let's put ourselves in other people's shoes or whatever, to
yeah.
just
I'm not
to
gonna
learn.
change your mind.
Yeah, I'm here to learn something, right? Like, maybe my mind doesn't change and I still hold to my opinions, but maybe something along the way changes, or if nothing changes, it's still an interesting conversation to have with someone that is open, which is what we are able to do. But Lord knows that's really difficult to find.
It's true. You never try to change someone's mind. You want to know why they think the way they do and express why you think that, for whenever like the conversation ends and they go home and the topic that is at hand like comes up in their own lives, they're like, huh, this other person said it. Like, it gives someone a different perspective on seeing, even though that you might agree with them, it gives them a different perspective of like how you're seeing the situation. And I feel
Yeah.
like that happens with me and you all the time, where even though I not agree with you, like I'll think back, like little Amy would pop up in a bubble
Will
and be like,
materialize.
and I'll be like, well, you know what, fine, I'll see it, and I'll see it like, I don't know. I feel like that a lot of people don't have the capability of doing that. I feel like it's odd.
No, it's just in tone. I don't know. I'm like genuinely I've been trying to like break down like what it is, because sometimes I'll be having conversations, for example, with my husband Juan, not to call him out or anything, but
We're looking at you, Juan.
sometimes we'll have conversations about whatever interest I currently have or whatever I see on TikTok or in the news, to have a conversation, and I don't know what it is, if it's tone, if it's the way he phrases things, that just feels like he's challenging me. But he'll be like, I'm not challenging you, I'm actually agreeing with you. And I'm like, okay, that I don't like, that's not what I'm hearing. Sometimes his tone will indicate that he's like trying to challenge me, and he'll be like, I'm not, I'm literally trying to have a conversation, or I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I'm like, that's not what I'm hearing though. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's tone, I don't know if it's the specific words he's using, I
I
don't know,
would.
but it just feel, I don't know if it's like a man thing also, where
I was just gonna say. I would say that it's a freaking man thing, because I feel like my husband does the same thing. It's like we'll be. I'd be like deep into this argument. I'd be like, "We're on the same side. I just noticed. Why are you so condescending?
yes,
Like,
yes.
what's happening?"
Is it the mansplaining? Is it
I
because
think
their
that's exactly
form
what
of
it is.
conversation is mansplaining things?
It's like they have to teach it to us, even though we don't. We
Yes.
already know it. We're working it up.
Yes. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm having an epiphany, because he was saying, because he, while I was editing the last episode, he asked me, rest in pieces. He was like, "Oh, how long was it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was like 3 hours. I'm doing a lot of editing." He's like, "Oh, no, you can't go over those hours because most people won't listen." And he's telling me things that are true and I agree with, but I just feel like he's doing the thing of mansplaining, and I'm just like, I know this, and he's like,
No
damn,
way.
and he's like, damn, all right, I just wanted to help, and I feel so bad because he's like genuinely hurt because he even said he's like, I just wanted to help you in something that like in the thing that you're doing in your passion
Your passion.
project. Like he was just so hurt, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but the way you tell me things sometimes sounds like you like sit down, little lady, let me teach you these things you don't know. And it's like, I know, I'm a big girl, I know these things.
I think it has a lot to do with like tone and stuff. I think
Yes.
it's just mansplaining. That's
And
so funny.
I can't, I'm like, I can't engage with it, and I'm like, I guess it's we love our men, but I guess we just communicate differently, and maybe that's how they're used to communicating with their guy friends, but I can't do it like that. I don't want to be talked. I don't want to be talked to. I want you to have a conversation with me. But it feels like I'm being talked to. It feels like, oh, let me tell you this thing that you don't know. It feels like that. I'm not saying that's how they intend it, but
Yeah.
that's how I'm receiving it.
I think that's why, like, when men are together, it's like a freaking pissing contest. Like, who's gonna mansplain the hardest?
There are no
Like,
women here. How am I supposed to speak?
it's like, exactly. Like, how am I supposed to teach you something? I don't know.
Yeah,
That must be weird.
it feels like I've met probably just a very few men in my life that will engage conversation at kind of like the level in which we do. So it's just, I don't know. I think different conversational styles. There's just a lack of awareness of it, and then also just like the lack of skill in terms of having good conversations, which is, again, why we want to do this, why we're doing it now, why we're looking forward to it. We have a list of things lined up that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of episodes. For episode 2, we are going to be going over some interesting things. You want to mention yours?
Well, before that, I want to mention, like, we're gonna going back to forms of conversation and the flow of things. I think we have a good where we hit a good medium between like discussing freely and pushing a little bit like of a discussion, so it's not like, I'm not a yes man here. It is a back and forth conversation. I think that is what makes a good podcast. I love hearing things that, because you don't want just like people agreeing with each other.
Yeah.
Like, we could agree but further elaborate, and I feel like that is going to be a good conversation between us, for our podcast and for different episodes. We're going to be talking about like not just social media things, even though that chronically online we will be bringing up a lot of things that are happening in like TikTok and like social media stuff, or in like celebrity culture.
Yeah,
But we are
we're gonna have a big celebrity episode, which I'm excited about.
oh my god, that I
Yeah,
know nothing about,
that
so
she
I
knows
love.
nothing about, and I have a whole, I'm gonna have a
Well,
whole
it's actually very
thesis.
serious. It's very serious.
It
We're like,
actually
we
is.
love child labor.
It actually is. Will be a serious episode because we're gonna be talking about like the weird stuff that goes on in Hollywood that
Right.
I've known about for years, and I tried to tell people, and no one believed me. So I just, just gonna get my not redemption arc because I'm not redeeming myself, but just like,
Yeah.
and I was right, and I was right episode.
Yeah, and I don't really know much about any of that, so I'm excited to learn more about it. But we will go into like, some sciencey stuff, some time travel things.
Weird stuff. We're
Um,
definitely gonna have. I'm definitely gonna be coming in with the esoteric, weird, witchy, spiritual stuff. So,
oh
we're
yeah.
not gonna be limited in the things that we talk about. We're gonna talk about a variety of things, which is what I really love about our podcast. Where we're not limited. We're gonna just engage with the things that we think are interesting, and thankfully, we find pretty much everything interesting.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's no limits to our overthinking.
We will
We'll be
overthink everything.
I
Don't
love
try
that
us.
for us.
We will do it.
So yeah, I mean, it should be good. It should be
Yeah.
fun.
So that's pretty much it for this first episode. It was a good episode. I'm proud of this one. Rest in peace
Happily.
to our lost episode.
I don't know what I was doing. It's just like the mom. Rest in peace. Oh yeah, the mambo. The Macarena.
Mambo number 5.
God.
Sorry. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, this is a very good celebration of life for our first recording. This should be. You know what? It doesn't matter if it's good or bad because it's gonna be the one we go for. So
we're not doing this again.
Yeah.
If you will, please do the follow us, subscribe, all that jazz.
Oh, okay. Oh God, it's so exciting. Even though I already did this before. Okay. Yes. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel down in the clicky thingy and hit the bell for notifications for when we bring out a new podcast episode, which should be depending on we can edit.
We don't have the set schedule yet. That'll probably, I think, maybe around episode 3 or 4ish, we'll probably be like, okay, because I'm going to start working soon. I have a job that's going to be starting in June, so we definitely want to give ourselves enough time to like film and edit and not like burn ourselves out either. But we're going to try to do at least 2 episodes a month is the goal.
Yeah. Bi-weekly for sure. So yes, like, subscribe, comment what you want us to talk about. I would love to hear
that's a good one.
What cool topics, like different things, social media things, celebrity things, spooky things,
spooky stuff.
And I guess and something I wanted to do, if you got to this point in our video, comment something. What should we comment?
Lost?
Lost episode. No, hold on. I'm trying to think.
Rest in peace. Rip.
Oh my God. Okay, if you made it this far in our first /second /1.5 episode, comment rest in peace for our first episode. And follow us on our
social media
platforms.
Yeah, we have linked our YouTube, our TikTok, our own social media, like
TikTok, Instagram.
Correct. Karina's trying to get her following. Okay, she's trying to get to that 10,000.
Honestly, just trying to get to 1,000, girl. You're trying to do all that.
True. But thank you so much for listening, for watching. It's been a good redo episode.
I'm excited to get to our second episode because that's gonna piss me off, and and I love that.
For our second episode, we're gonna be talking about some interesting things, time traveling, and Harrison Butker or butt kisser or butt kicker.
Is he a kicker? Oh, he's a kicker.
He is a kicker, butt kicker. Butker.
All right,
his last name is Butker.
Yeah, Butker. And it's Harrison, of course. That's my son's name.
I know.
Shame. Okay. Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. See you next episode. Ciao. Bye.
Bye. We should do that.
1, 2, 3. Bye. No. I thought we were going to do it at the same time.
You're doing 1, 2, 3. Who does 1, 2, 3? It's 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Let me look at the camera like I'm in the office.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Wait, is it a countdown or a count up?
You do it, bro.
No, I'm saying. You count down. You don't count up.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye. 3, 2, 1. Bye. Bye.
Are we supposed to do it at the same time?
Yes.
We're doing it at the same time.
Oh, I'm not hearing you. You're just going.
I'm saying bye.
I can't hear it. Okay. Dude, bye. Just bye.
Adios.
Okay.